This is Luna. This is one of the cats that we have. Hello everybody, it's Domino1011 here. I know this is not my usual format for a writing journey video, but I put on my Instagram story, do you mind, for some questions, and I'm going to answer them. I'm just going to shut this door because I don't want people to think we're crazy plus, do we? So the first one, really simply, is tea or coffee. I'm a tea guy personally. I'll drink a mocha on occasion, but make your mind up. Go on. Yeah, I'm mainly a tea guy. Like usually when I'm on my computer or writing the book, I'll usually have a cup of tea with me. I spent too long talking about tea. The next one is, I really enjoyed your book. Any advice on self-publishing? What I would say, and this is from what I've learned, and I've probably spoken about a few of these things in previous writing journey videos. Sorry, again. I've probably talked about this in previous writing journey videos, but self-publishing on paper, to me, looked like the easiest and quickest way to get my book out there. Traditional publishing, I've seen, I've heard can take up to like 2 years or something to get a literary agent, and then to get a publishing house and have that sort of connection between the three parties, yourself, the agent, and the thing. And then you start with your editing, your marketing, your cover design, all that jazz. Self-publishing is you're effectively setting up a business because you're doing it all yourself. So all the marketing, the editing and cover design, you can still hire someone. There are lots of services out there. I did all that stuff myself. So the cover and editing and formatting and the actual writing of the thing, I all as myself. It's a bit trickier than it looks, especially if you're not, like, I didn't think I had much of a business head on me, if that makes sense. I've been so focused on the creative side of things, writing the book, doing the cover, telling the story, that I never really looked into the business stuff until I was at that sort of the final stages where I was like, I could actually, tread on untrodden ground with this. So I would say it's good because there's a lot more that's in your control. And just for the record, I'm no expert. But I wouldn't say it's exactly easy either. And I don't want to discourage anyone. If you want to try self-publishing, go right ahead. There are lots of services and sites that you can use to start your self-publishing journey. I used KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, which is a subsidiary of Amazon, or like Amazon's the parent, basically. The next one, how do I get into writing a book? I would say just start. If you have a story or characters that you want to talk about, or you're excited about especially, then I would say go for it. I probably need to take my own advice on this next bit, but there are probably writers groups in your local area, or even online in some respects. Discord probably has one, where you can proofread for other people, which is a really useful tool as well, proofreading. and you can get advice and people to proofread your book for you and tell you what you could change or do better or change the flow or whatever. I've got the proof copy here because I don't have a author copy to hand, but I had a few proofreaders for this, and they were really helpful. One guy especially, in leaving comments and suggestions and things. It's definitely a very collaborative project, but again, much like with the self-publishing thing, there's so much in your control because obviously you're telling the story, you're writing the book. The next one that I've got is early bird or night owl. I'm a night owl. I can get up early if I need to, but my neurodivergent brain is often so wired and so abuzz with all sorts of things that I struggle to sleep at night. Even if I read, my brain is still whirring. So I'm definitely a night owl because I've certainly pulled an all-nighter before. The next question is, loved the book. What inspired the local touches? I think it's a mix of... Sorry, messing with my Lego. I think the inspiration for the local touches is a mix of... It's all areas that are local to me, like they're within walking distance. So I can easily describe them because I know what these areas look like and I know what's there. A lot of the places that are talked about, like I think Little Germany's mentioned, that's actually a district in Bradford. There's Saltaire Medical Practice is also mentioned, where Merrick works. That's a real place. There isn't a tailor shop, I don't think, in the Saltaire High Street. But anyway, yeah, I think just boil it down to creative decision, really. And plus, I think by rooting my stories in real locations that I've been to and I've experienced and have memories in, there in some places, I think it makes the story feel a bit more real to me as the author and to the reader as well, because they could go through the book and actually visit these places and think, oh, this is where this part of the story happened, which would be quite exciting. The next is, will you write about other heroes than the Metcalfe Maiden? Yes, I have loads of plans for other superheroes and other powers and the lore behind the superpowers and how they came to be. In fact, the second book that I'm working on delves into a lot of that, sort of origins of the superpowers and how it came to be. And it's sort of a mystery, I guess, but it's, yeah, very exciting. So yes, there will be other heroes with all sorts of powers and sexualities and abilities, and I'm quite excited. If you were a hero in your universe, what powers would you want? Super speed or psychic powers like telepathy or telekinesis or something? But yeah, super speed I would absolutely love. It'd probably mess with my lore, but I would love to be a speedster. I love the Flash. It's probably... The Flash was actually one of the inspirations behind, let me get this right, Blue Bulwark and Agent Alacrity, because they've had different names. What's been the biggest learning curve? The business side of things. I've mentioned already, and probably in the YouTube writing journey series, I can't stop messing with my giblets. That the biggest learning curve has been the business side of things, because it's a side of publishing a book that I've not really focused on before. I've been so focused on the creative side. So that's been good, learning all the business stuff. How much has the story changed over time? So the story started out back in like 2018 as it was going to be an animated thing where Blue Blur, as he was called then, now Blue Bulwark, was a solo hero working with his friend Liz Mace, protecting Metcalf, but also there would be like a side story where the main villain was like his mum who's been missing, and the team would have sort of developed over time. Then I lost the animation and I'm gutted because I can't get that back. I was really proud of it. Then I gave the story an overhaul and drafted the whole series, and then got some family members to proofread it, and the proofread didn't go down well, so I sort of mothballed it until earlier this year, having wanted to pick up the story again. Then I had a mental health crisis about 2023, so I couldn't work on the stories, but I didn't let that really stop me. I wrote down a load of details. I spent that time fleshing out the lore and all these new heroes and what to keep and change and all these things. And then as of September 8th, we have the story that I have penned in these pages, and I'm very excited. I know this is a bit off topic, but one of the things I do love is when I get to tell someone that I've published and written a book for the first time, and I see their face light up with all the emotions of, oh, that's really impressive, good for you. But yes, very exciting. Very exciting. The next question is, what inspired you to write a book? I don't know. I think I was about 13, right? Again, 2018. And there was a creative writing competition going on at a charity shop in another town. Or not another town, but in like a nearby town. And I decided to enter with a short piece that I wrote called Lost and Found. When I went to submit that entry, I found out that there was an age limit and I was too young to enter the competition at the time. I still entered, heard nothing. I assume I was disqualified because I didn't meet that minimum age thing. But I really enjoyed writing this piece. I've always enjoyed creative writing, but I never thought about it as something to do in my spare time or as a hobby or whatever. So then I wrote these short stories about the superheroes and these characters that I'd come up with. I was getting into my DC and Marvel stuff at the time. I was also writing short stories about my model railway and the engines. I was 13, don't judge me. And then, like I say, over the years, the story and these characters have just evolved and sort of grown with me, and they've sort of stuck with me. And it was after writing the stuff that I thought, oh, this is actually quite enjoyable. I wouldn't mind going all the way with this and learning about publishing a book. And the rest, as they say, is history. Next one, favorite hero or villain character? From the highs and lows of being a superhero, available in ebook and paperback, I would say that my favorite hero is probably Red Legend here. Not Red Legend, sorry. Fervor Forge. I keep getting the... Anyway. Fervor Forge. I don't know. I found myself really drawn to him. Him or Tech Torrent. because they're all on the cover, by the way, in any place. Yeah, probably Further Forge. I think because I'm happy with the story that I've given his character, it's probably a bit dark, maybe, and that's probably why I was so skeptical about it. But I think it's the right choice. And again, that's another thing that we explore sort of later on. Then the last question, any information about the sequel? I've made some early progress on the second book. I've got the first couple of chapters written. Well, I did before this was published, but then I mothballed it so that I could finish this one and publish this one. So I'm getting into picking that up again. I need to go through and make some changes, make sure everything's up to date, with character names and stuff. Yeah, so that's the second one is underway. For the highs and lows of being a superhero, I planned for there to be 6 stories. It's quite a lot, but you know, deal with it. No. 6 stories to brain fart. Yeah, 6 books. My favourite of which is probably number 5. And that's quite far down the line, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's all the questions I've got. Thank you for watching this far. If you have, please like and subscribe and do all the things. I'm not only on YouTube, but I am on Instagram as the Maidenverse Official. And The Highs and Lows of Being a Superhero is available in ebook and paperback via Amazon. So thank you all so much, and I will see you next time.